Time for a game show that takes place on a dinner table of a very hungry giant. Yes, it's Fee-Fi for Yum. The British children's show that was hosted by the legend Les Dennis. The show made 2 teams of 5 compete in a series of challenges to win the game and be saved from being eaten. The show lasted for 2 seasons and 26 episodes from 2010. It also had Brian Blessed as the announcer for the show. So now that we have the background, let's take a look at a couple of episodes. First up we have Series 1 Episode 1. So we see Brian the Giant introduce the show as we meet the orange and green teams. Brian then shows us what is coming up on the show as he then introduces Les Dennis. So Les comes out, spins around and welcomes us to the show. He explains the losers will be eaten by Brian, so a lot is on the line here. Les tells us it is Brian's birthday today, but Brian seems to forget as Les is already annoyed with him. Les gets the teens to wish Brian a happy birthday as he then threatens to eat them as Les butts in and says it is time to meet the teams. So we meet the orange team as they all wave to Les. Les then dashes over to the greens as they all wave to Les as well. Les then explains the rules of the game as they have to win time to have the best chance of escaping at the final game. Les explains Brian has brought some Chinese for his birthday, but they left the peas in and Brian hates peas. Les then gets attacked by one. He slowly gets up only to be attacked by another one shortly after. Les is not happy as he then returns to the rules saying they have to remove all the peas using the chopsticks. The team who removes the most win the game. So Brian picks the players as they play chop chop. Brian sets the egg timer as they go off, working together to remove the peas from the Chinese. It is a very hard game as they only have control of one chopstick each. The greens are struggling as Brian watches on. The time ends as the teams have tied. Les says Brian should give peas a chance as Les then sends us to the break of the fake TV show. Brian takes the Chinese as we then get an advert as a giant is struggling to eat an old lady. They give him some OAP sauce as it's very strange. So back with the game, Les lets Brian announce the next game as he calls him Des. Les is not happy as he introduces Les's tasty challenge. Les makes a sly comment about Brian being thick as Brian is not pleased. Les tries to change subject as he then explains he has to eat as much of the food as possible in the time and the teens have to guess how much Les can eat in the time. He reveals sausages. The teens guess away as Brian then starts the game. Les chows down the sausages in 30 seconds. Les then hands out the sausages as the teams reveal their guesses. Brian says he only ate 4. Les's false teeth aren't all what they used to be as the greens get the point. Les announces another break as we see some hair product. It's some cheese sauce. The guy rubs it all over himself as I am scared. I wouldn't buy that if you paid me. So back to the game. Brian has brought out his balloons as he blows one up. Les announces the next game. He says Brian has thrown a bunch of fridge magnets in the slime and the teens have to create a sum that equals Brian's lucky number. Les asks what Brian's lucky number is as he reveals it is 37. Brian then picks the players as they play lucky numbers. Les says they can only have 5 symbols out at one time as the game begins. They go off to make the sum equal to 37 as the orange team solve it within seconds. The greens say they got confused because they thought the 7 was a 1. Les then announces another break but this time he says we have to pay attention because there will be questions about the ad afterwards. So to the ad, the giant is eating the food as they magic him up a bib. He then uses a straw to suck everything up as we then get another ad about a sleepy giant, who uses Go Giant to get up and about. So after whatever that was, Les welcomes us back to the show, but Brian eats one of the cameramen. Brian tells Les to calm down as Les questions the teens about the ads they just saw. So Les asks a bunch of questions as the teens answer. I don't know how to explain this round as the questions are stupid. At the end of the round the oranges are in the lead. Les then sends us to the weather as Windy Wendy tells us the weather. She farts a lot as it is over quickly. So back to the game. Les tells the team they get to pick who faces the Great Escape as the teams decide their players. It's then time to play the Great Escape as Les explains the rest of the team are trapped and the solo players have to run through the donuts, go through the kitchen roll, run over the rolling pin, build a chocolate bridge and then get up the slope. A lot to do as Les says the orange get a 4 seconds head start. So the game starts as they go off. It's complete chaos as the greens take the lead. He struggles in the slime as the orange player cheats and jumps over the slime. Les can't believe it and neither can I. The orange team escape as Les tells the greens they're going to be eaten. Brian eats up, the kids wish him happy birthday before he chows down on them. Les concludes the show as he says Brian needs more humans to eat as the episode then ends with Les flying off on a balloon. Next up we have Series 1 Episode 2. So Brian introduces the show once more as we see the teams cheer away. He shows us what is coming up as Les comes strolling out. He introduces the show once again as he says it will be a great show today as Brian is fast asleep. Les can't believe it as Brian then gets up. Les doesn't care as he then goes to meet the orange team. They dance away as Les heads over to the greens. They say they are perfect as Les then explains the rules of the game once more. They try to wake Brian up as he then farts. Les explains they have to launch the most beans onto the toast to win the first game. Brian picks the players as we play beans on toast. The game begins as the teams go off. They shoot away as the orange fly ahead. The greens barely get one as the time is then up. Les counts up as orange clearly take the game as they score 6-1. Les then sends us to a break as we then get an ad about bad breath. It's very strange as he knocks himself out. So back to the game as Les explains Brian is so tired, so they best move on, but Brian then gets up and introduces the tasty challenge round once again. Les mocks Brian once more as he then gets back to the game. He shows the teams he will be eating cockles this time round. Yum yum. He asks the teams to guess as Les is not happy. Brian starts the game as Les tries to eat the cockles. He seems to like these more than the sausages. Time ends as the teams reveal their guesses. The green guess correctly with 17 as Les takes us to another break. Brian tells himself to wake up as he takes another cameraman to eat. So we see another advert as we see a messy eater and how he is getting food in his beard. They shave it off as they eat the food inside. They suck up the cat as I'm confused. So back with the game, Les tells us about the fridge magnet game again as Brian says his lucky number this time is 43. Brian picks the players as they play lucky numbers once again, so the game starts as they try to make 43. The oranges make their sum 1 short as they play on. They change the 6 to a 7 as they finally get the points. Les tells the green they should have been faster as he chucks to another break again. He tells us to watch carefully as we see a young lad arrive at his nan's house. They have some tea as suddenly some giant dunks some old lady tea bags. We then see some hammer as some guy has a backache. He takes the hammer as he whacks his own hand for some reason. So back to the game, Les asks us questions on whatever rubbish we just saw. After the 5 questions have been asked, the oranges take the lead. We then see some personal trainer as he uses Tower Bridge to work out. He rips his pants as Brian throws something at Les once again. Les goes down more than me at this point. So the teams pick who they want to play the final game, so we get ready for the great escape as it is the same course as the first episode. The orange dash off as they have a 9-second lead. Everyone slips and slides everywhere as they build their bridges. The greens get out as Les tells the orange off for trying to cheat by not completing the bridge. So Brian eats up as Les ends the show as the episode then ends. Finally we have Series 2 Episode 2. So Brian introduces the 2 teams once more as he shows us what is coming up today. The host with the most comes out as he is wearing a nice blue suit. Les welcomes us to the show once more as Les asks Brian what he is up to today as he says he will attempt the world record of eating 5 humans in the quickest time today. Les can't believe it as we then meet the orange team. Les then goes over to the greens as we meet them as well. They say they are both confident as Les tells us the rules for the 3rd time. Les tells us game 1 is the Chinese one again as he gets hit by a pea again, but as we have seen this we can skip this part. So the oranges win that game as the greens couldn't get any peas on their plate. Les sends us to the break as Brian eats up the Chinese with his hands. We then get an ad where someone is farting in a job interview, so she dashes off. They show off some gas mask or something as we head back to the game. Brian introduces the taste challenge again as Les is moaning about being a wasted game show host. Les explains the rules again as he shows off some chili chocolate. He asks the teens for their guesses once again as Les says he might go for a world record. They start the game as Les shoves it down his throat. Eating all this chocolate is making me feel sick. The The teams show their guesses as Brian says Les only got 8 squares of chocolate down as the oranges take the point. Les chucks us back to the adverts as Brian eats a bunch of biscuits. So we see some giant blocking his nose as he has a hairy nose. They show off some hair remover thing as it is very crazy. They make it into a wig as I'm just shocked. So back with Les, he explains Brian has broken some biscuits and the teams have to rebuild them to win the game. Brian picks the players as they play Bicky Break. The game gets underway as Brian cheers them on. They put the biscuits back together as they get all wet. The greens complete their puzzle first as Les gives them the points. Brian eats the biscuit as Les throws us to the ads we must watch. So we get an ad with flaky hair as they give him a pet cone. He then eats the flakes as I'm disgusted. We then get an ad of Thor showing off some toothpaste and how bad his teeth have become. It's some cheese toothpaste as Thor says it stinks. So Les asks the 5 questions about the adverts as the oranges take the lead. We get another personal trainer bit as he is on the London Eye doing some push-ups. Les is then asking what Brian is up to as he says he is practicing his mouth movements as Les then says the teams have to pick who they want to play the Great Escape. Les shows off the course as it is the same as usual. The orange get a 9-second head start as they dash off as the orange zoom ahead. The green try to catch up but the oranges take it. Les can't believe it as Brian starts his world record attempt as he eats them like light snacks. Les closes the show as Brian says he got a new record, but forgot how long it took because he ate the stopwatch. The episode ends on that strange note. Right, in conclusion let's break this down into 2 parts. The game show part was alright, it worked well. The games were silly fun and Les Dennis was a great host. The giant part of the show was okay as that was a good premise of the show. Now let's get to the adverts and the whole TV thing. That didn't work. I didn't get why we needed a break every 5 minutes to run a silly advert that has nothing to do with the game show. If they just did the game show as normal, still with the giant theme but removed the TV bits and the random adverts, I would love this, but how it was made I can't recommend this one. The game show is alright at best and the adverts don't add to its merits. So it would be a pass from me. So thank you for watching. If you have any TV shows you like to see me do, put them in the comments.